Shall I start?
Please start.
Hi everyone, I am Shubhankar from Marine Animation. I'm just the faculty of Web and Graphic Design. Okay. So it is a short presentation about graphic design. So basically, graphic design is a design process of art of combining text and images to convey a concept. And it can be in motion also, it can be in still images also, or into any concept or collages. Whatever we think in print or electronic media, it can be graphics. Okay. So graphics basically exist in manual graphics and in digital also. So in very earlier days, when we see the cave paintings and sculptures, and in Indian scenario also we have the Ajanta Ellora cave paintings, sculptures. These are all the origin of our modern day graphics. We need the inspiration from them. So whoever is keen for graphics, he or must love it. He or she must love it. Take the inspiration from the previous sketchers or painters, so that he can make good illustrations in order to incorporate it in commercial and as well as fine arts. So digitally we need software to make the graphics very intuitively and very perfectly. Manually it takes time, but both of the fields need the concept. Without concept, we cannot use that graphic design software. These softwares include mainly vector softwares and raster softwares. So vector softwares are that one which uses mathematical calculations for geometry, which do not need pixelation. In that case, we have some benefits, like we can scale down or scale up the image or the composition we have made in vector graphics. But I am talking about graphic design in Photoshop in my next slide, and hence it is a raster graphic software. That means it is based on pixels. And what is a pixel? It is a small identity on your monitor or display screen which carries color information. It is square shaped and very tiny, and when millions and millions of pixels integrates in an order or to conform a geometry, then you can get a proper raster graphic. So Photoshop basically works with that raster graphic things or the pixel based editing. It is basically that type of software which is used to make editing, manipulation and other computations. In that case, we need to know what our purpose is, what our purposes are. For example, if I need to manipulate images, or I need to repair some damaged area of the image, or I need to make some new things out of the old images, that can be possible in Photoshop. Okay, it is very old software. I have started with Photoshop 4. Nowadays it is Photoshop CC Creative Cloud. Okay. So what is raster graphic? I can give you a small idea about this one. A raster is a grid of x and y coordinates on a display space. And for three-dimensional images, you can consider the z coordinate also. Raster image file identifies which of these coordinates to illuminate in monochrome or color values. Monochrome means single color, that you can say the grayscale images are monochrome, and color values means we are talking about RGB color modes or CMYK color modes or HSB, etc. etc. So what is the meaning of illuminate? I am just manipulating the color pixel zones so that I can make a good exposure of light, or I can make the good exposure of hue and saturation. Okay, for example, if I am clicking a photo, so I need to know the light direction, exposure of the object under the light, and obviously how the object will look like. Some kind of visualization should be there so that a photographer can expose it very well through this software. Otherwise, a very blurred photo cannot be that much illuminated through digital software.
Can you show us some examples? Because whatever you're saying, we are not able to understand.
Actually, I'm having.
And since you're giving a presentation on graphic design, your presentation itself should say, like it's not graphically designed at all.
Yeah, yeah.
How is that possible?
Actually, graphic design, I have my portfolio online so that I can show you in presentation.
But you're coming here to present, right?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. I think I have some of them. Let me go through this one.
Since how long you are into academics?
More than 3 years.
In which company? You have said that in Arena Animation.
With this one, I am working since.
Before Arena?
2014.
No, before Arena, is there any academic experience?
Yeah, I have gone to corporate trainings also, and some studios, and
On which subject?
This same subject. Graphics.
So why you use Photoshop as a graphic designing tool?
Basically, it is depending on the requirement. If I am working for scalable graphics, so I am not preferring that Photoshop. Okay, if I am going for some superimposed background or some type of wallpapers or textures, so I will be going for Photoshop because I need that photos or I need that type of pixel manipulation here.
Suppose if you need scalable graphic, so which is the preferred software, Corel or Illustrator?
In print, you can prefer Corel, or in print and web, if you are talking about both requirements, then Illustrator is always preferable. Okay.
Reason?
Reason means if I am very much precision sensitive, if it is depending on the measurements, very acute measurement is relative. So Corel is preferable. And obviously preferable depends or varies from person to person. Illustrator is not that much precision sensitive. It is basically famous for its libraries, presets, and obviously the cross-platform utilities with the other Adobe members.
And in your opinion and your preference?
My preference is when I am working with web graphic UIs, user interfaces, I will prefer Adobe Illustrator because I am working mostly with the Adobe software. So Corel is not that much compatible with other Adobes. Okay. So
As a web designer, do you use Muse?
yeah, sometimes, but Muse is not giving you that much comfortable environment always, because if the client is needing the customization of its whole environment, to some extent you are crashing your platform to some extent, because if you are laying out the layout from the very basic fundamentals, you need to change your programming as well. So it is not all about this graphics. It is all about the backend part also, the scripting part also. So Muse is okay with the small level clients who are not needing rapid changes in their layouts. One-time changes required, then Muse is okay. If it is not, then you must go for the custom development process.
In web designing, what are the tools you using?
In web design, basically it is Dreamweaver or Bracket for compilation. Otherwise, Photoshop is always there for laying out the mockup. Okay, web design tools have a user-friendly and recommended web design tool for mockup part. After that, HTML4 or 5, CSS2 and 3, JavaScript, again a basic fundamental for the advancement of the UI, whenever you are proceeding for jQuery, the latest version of the JavaScript libraries, you need to know the JavaScript framework also. So again, JavaScript. After that, if you are talking about the dynamic contents of the website as well, then you have to go for the PHP or the other scripting languages.
So any kind of skill set in the development part also do you have?
Development part I am not that much comfortable with, but I have the knowledge. I have the intermediate knowledge of PHP scripting, WordPress, and that Get PHP.
Suppose a student is sitting in your class. He is not aware of any kind of technologies and not even aware of what is graphic design, what is web design. Then how you start with it?
I have basically make him comfortable with the basic images which we really see in the real-time environment, and make him understand that what graphics starts from, what is the sketching part, what is the pre-production part. Then I'm coming to the digital production process. Digital production is not that much easier for a layman. Okay. So is there any pixel in our sketch? Is it possible? If it is possible to accept that one in my daily exercise, then only he or she can understand that it is possible in digital process also.
How much slides in your presentation?
Only 8.
Just quickly go through it.
Yeah. Again, it is a photo and picture editing.
No,
And
do not explain it.
option.
Do not explain it. Just quickly go through it. Okay. Next. 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 Okay. Now tell me, you have started your presentation with the photo manipulation. The main topic is photo manipulation, or initially you started with the graphic design. But during the, as Ms. Shalini said, there is no photo or no graphics images are there in your presentation. Don't you think, is it fine?
Yeah, actually, I need to give you that much also.
No. Suppose if it is a first, suppose I am not,
Exactly.
think point of time. Suppose if it is a class.
And
Suppose
I have no idea कि क्या
Suppose it
scale
is
है,
a class,
क्या है.
it is we are students, for example,
Yeah.
and if you are giving me this kind of presentation, it will not work.
Yeah, that's
So how you motivate your students? Ki because I want to teach graphic designing, I want to teach play with the images, and you are not showing any kind of sample artworks. That means you are not doing with the visual communication, because this is the art of visual communication, not about talking, not about text, not about audio, just for visual. If you show them visual, you can easily grab their intention as well as their interest. So it is very, very important in your class to motivate students.
Yeah.
Otherwise you cannot explain whatever. Suppose आपको बहुत knowledge है, I understand. आपका experience अच्छा है, बहुत साल आपने काम किया इंडस्ट्री में, और you बहुत अच्छा ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग बनाते हो, वेबसाइट बहुत अच्छा बनाते हो. स्टूडेंट को उस बात से क्या मतलब है? स्टूडेंट को तो आपको जब जो सब्जेक्ट आप पढ़ाने आए हो, अगर आप उसका इंटरेस्ट उसके अंदर पैदा नहीं कर पाओगे तो वो नहीं पढ़ेगा.
Actually, क्या होता है? What I have seen, what I have felt that हमारे वहाँ पे presentation इस तरीके से हम देते नहीं, ठीक है ना? Whatever we communicate with each and every student, we usually make things.
I understand आप क्लास में नहीं देते हो, but suppose if you are going somewhere else for an interview,
Yeah, you will modify, right?
तो आपको उसे अपने ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए, नहीं चाहिए आपको.
Actually, वो PowerPoint presentation का हमें आदत इतना नहीं है और टाइम भी इतना
तो
नहीं
ठीक है, मैं आई एग्री, आप पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन मत लाते. यू हैव टू ब्रिंग योर ओन वर्क ऑल्सो. सपोज इफ यू आर कमिंग फॉर एन इंटरव्यू फॉर अ डिजायर्ड पोस्ट, सो यू शुड ब्रिंग विद योर आर्ट वर्क्स. लाए आप कुछ?
मैं इधर आपको ऑनलाइन शो कर सकता हूँ.
नेट चल रहा है इसमें? ऑनलाइन नहीं तो आपकी पेन ड्राइव में नहीं है? पेन ड्राइव में दिखाइए अगर है कुछ और.
बेसिकली अगर मैं आपके साथ, मैं एज अ स्टूडेंट हूँ यहाँ पर और आप मुझे कुछ पिक्चर दिखा दें, सो आई मे हैव मोर इंटरेस्ट इन लर्निंग फ्रॉम यू फ्रॉम सॉफ्टवेयर पर्सपेक्टिव.
या
It's
तो आप
just
डेमो देते पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर खोल के साथ साथ बोलते कि इसको ये होता है उसको वो होता है.